According to the news media, the White House is in chaos. The administration is falling apart, and Donald Trump will never be able to win the Republican nomination for president. Oh, wait, scratch that last one. He'll never win the election for president. Oh, wait. Well, anyway, let's move on. All across this great land, from New York to Los Angeles and nowhere in between, the mainstream media is declaring that President Donald Trump's administration is in disarray. The resignation of Michael Flynn reveals a White House that can never possibly match such landmark accomplishments of the last administration as... wait, I'm thinking. The guy was in office for 8 years. He must have accomplished something. What was his name again? Skinny, coffee-colored guy. Had a name like a terrorist? I forget. But to return to the ineffectiveness of the Trump administration, the media, having scoured the opinions of the populace from 57th Street in Manhattan all the way to 43rd, have decided that this is an administration doomed to failure. Mainstream journalist Mendacious Racehire says there's absolutely no indication that a man like Donald Trump can succeed. Mr. Racehire was a reporter for the New York Times, a former newspaper, until he was fired in the latest round of cutbacks there and evicted from his apartment. The former reporter for the former paper gave a press conference in his former apartment, standing in his underwear before an array of empty wine bottles and saying, quote, "Why on earth would anyone think Donald Trump could accomplish anything as president? Sure, he was a successful real estate developer and a TV star, and he won his presidential campaign. But can he do this?" Mr. Racehire then held a cigarette lighter to his backside and caused the flame to explode clear across the room. He was immediately hired to work at CNN. It's apparently a talent they look for there. Other journalists are now claiming that Trump is mentally ill. Former blogger Andrew Sullivan, speaking from the former blogger's home for the consistently ridiculous, told CNN, quote, "Trump is a pathological liar. First, he said he'd removed the Martin Luther King bust from the Oval Office, and it turned out he hadn't. Then he said he had threatened to invade Mexico when he hadn't. Then he went on to say he was easing sanctions on Russia, which he wasn't," unquote. When Sullivan was told these were all lies told by journalists rather than Trump, he responded, quote, "Oh, well, then maybe it's the journalists who are mentally ill. That would explain why they never covered the fact that Sarah Palin hid someone else's baby in her womb for 9 months," unquote. All in all, journalists agree that the Trump White House is ineffective, dishonest, and in disarray. As New York Times editor Blithering Prevarication III told a room full of former reporters who were packing up their bags after being fired, quote, "I could tell you stories about the chaos at the White House, but unfortunately I don't have time right now because our building is on fire. We needed the insurance money. Run for your lives," unquote. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.